So the first question, how long did it take you guys?
Well, so this all came together because Malibu Compost, Colin Riley, was here for the seed, what's it called? Oh, the Heirloom Festival. He was here for the Heirloom Festival back in September. He had his display out here. They just started throwing a whole bunch of seed, wildflowers, cover crops, and then they mulched it with their compost, and then it rained. And he asked the fairgrounds if it could stay here until the Emerald Cup.
Oh,
and then so he then got on the wire and just got a whole bunch of us together. Biovortex, Hightide, Soilscape, Alpenglow, Moongazer. I know I'm forgetting some, but it was a whole bunch of people came together to then develop each of these areas. And it was just a sea of green, of cover crops, wildflowers. In this bed right here, it's popping off with lettuce, bok choy. And so then we all came in this week and we just started developing these areas, and it's such like an organic kind of thing that it worked perfectly. And now it's beautiful. And not only that, but we get folks in here who weren't necessarily coming in to learn about regenerative agriculture. They came in here because they wanted a beer. And it's perfect.
Yeah.
And especially, shout outs to Eel River, because they do a lot of stuff in terms of sustainability with their business. And so then boom, now we have people in here who are having a beer, and then you get to talk to them about regenerative agriculture, and they're like, what's that? And then
speaking of which, so you said all the people who are involved, and obviously you're pretty knowledgeable, you're an educator. Who are you?
We are just passionate people about the work we do.
Oh, you're being humble. This is Dan Mar. This is Dan Mar with Hightide Permaculture and Compliant Farms.
Yes.
That's his brainchild right there.
So I go out to farms and I help folks, whether it's just how to understand their land better and they need to just develop some land practices, or it could be agricultural specific, or working with folks in other different areas. We just bring people together. That's what Compliant Farms does a really good job of. It's like, okay, there's two of us and we know this much, but we can connect people to these other really smart.
Well, that was kind of a theme last night in that Regenerative Farm Showcase was
awesome.
Community, right?
Yeah.
So we're down to 10%, unfortunately.
Yeah,
can we go on a little quick tour of the rest of the place?
Sure. So we got rainwater catchment, which has to be integrated with rainwater harvesting.
Got it.
Okay.
Because here's the deal. There's plenty of water, 600 gallons per 1 inch of rain per 1,000 square feet. It's how we use that water. And if you develop systems like mulching, just a basic example, you reduce your water budget, you need a lot less to put into tanks and storage. So then you're gonna have overflow. That overflow has to go into the ground, slow it, spread it, sink it.
And you're building the carbon content of that soil right there too, so more of it soaks in over time.
You got it.
That's awesome.
Totally. And it's passive and integrated. Like once you set the system up, you're done. You walk away. You're
awesome.
done. Yeah.
Hey, those of you guys that are watching, someone drop a comment down there and tell me how the volume is. I know there's music playing in the background, but let us know if it gets too loud. We'll go somewhere else.
Amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys want to say hi to the Living Soils Symposium?
Hello. How we doing?
Hello from the Emerald Cup.
Yeah. Mendocino, Laytonville, representing.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're getting a tour here from Dan Mar with Hightide Permaculture.
All right.
This is amazing this year.
Sweet.
Last year it was like a prison here. Now it's so inviting.
Right on.
Like I want to be in here.
Beautiful. Right on.
Oh,
Thank you.
amazing.
Did you guys put this all together?
Yeah, well, a bunch of people and businesses all came together to make this happen. Malibu Compost was the genesis of it all.
It's amazing.
It's pretty sweet.
So this is
Hugelkultur.
Yep.
So this is burying carbon, wood, and then feeding it very simply with green manures, and then boom, the earthworms and the microbes do the work for you. Woo! Now you have a carbon sink, you're sequestering carbon, you're feeding the soil, which then feeds the plants, and you've increased the organic material, so now you have a greater sponge to hold water.
That's awesome.
Boom, that's hugelkultur.
I don't know how long this has been here. Was this brought on, and can we dig?
This was built in September.
Okay.
We're now here in December. It was built and left alone.
There's Colin Riley of Malibu Compost right there next to his logo. We're live on the symposium.
Look at that.
Wow.
Mycelium.
That's awesome. So this has been here. I was curious if this was just made for the event or if it's matured.
Day 100 for that year.
Day
Very
100.
cool.
We did that for the National Heirloom Expo in September.
So here's, check this out on this side. So here's some large woody debris. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at the mycelium all over this thing.
Did you guys inoculate this with King Stropharia or anything, or is it just native mycelium brought from off-site?
Exactly.
That's awesome.
But
So
that's
that
something
stuff
you
is
can
just
do.
around.
Yes, it's everywhere. Like, don't go buying fungus in a bottle.
Just give it a place
It's
to
here.
live.
Yeah. Give it
Awesome.
some moisture and carbon, and there it is. All right. Here is fermented plant extracts. So again, don't buy it, make it yourself. You're growing plants, you can extract the specific nutrients out of them, maybe they're minerals, and you can make your own. Shout out to Nomad's Landing on this one. Check those guys out right here.
Ah, right there.
Nomad's Landing. Find those guys. All right.
Support 'em.
Cruising around, a bunch of aesthetic stuff.
Say hello. Hi to the Living Soils Symposium.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
All right, here we go. The integration of water beyond storage for irrigation, whether it's in tanks or in the ground through harvesting. But aesthetics features are wonderful, but then you can also provide habitat. Bees, honeybees get so thirsty. They're working off of sugars and they're buzzing all over the place. They need water sources. So you're not just planting plants for bees and pollinators, but they have to have a water source. Ponds are a great way to do that. This is a super cool flow form. So it's vortexing water, no 90-degree angles. We lose the molecular structure, and that's really beneficial for water. So here we go.
I like the logo on the back of your shirt, Biovortex. Jesse Dodd, he's the creator of this regenerative cannabis word, right?
Yes. Yes, he is. All right. So we can go full circle here, if you will. Dragonfly Earth Medicine came in here yesterday and started building a hugel.
Very
so
cool.
over there we got the final where you can see the mycelium, the moist soil, and the plants thriving. But here's how it begins. Look at how simple this is. You've got this stuff all over your property, or maybe your neighbors do. Bury this carbon, hook up with someone who's got pesticide-free or not, manures that have been from animals that are dewormed. Get that stuff, compost that stuff into the ground, let nature do the rest of it for you. Fruits, vegetables, cannabis. This is it. This is the future. You want to be competitive in this massive market, you have to reduce your overhead. That's time and money. Regenerative cannabis farming practices.
I'm really glad you talk about that too, because the whole business side of it, it's part of the system.
Yes.
And that's a part that if you take the extra step and just learn a little bit about that, you're way ahead of the
And it
competition.
gives you a chance to become competitive. I mean,
Yes.
now that you have a chance to become competitive, it's like, okay, well, if they get too big for me, how do I work with other people?
Yeah.
So I start to branch
Totally.
out and start to have a bigger voice.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a collective.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, they need to start to understand
Yeah.
that it's just like we need to work together, and we also need to understand how to bring
Totally.
our costs down.
Yeah.
They're natural, simple.
Boom. That's
All
it.
right. Well, thank you so much, Dan.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to
Appreciate
sign
it.
off here. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Hashtag show me your hugel. Yeah. Emerald Cup 2017.
Boom.
Thanks.